Hey guys, before we get started, you know what we have to do. Business. Hit us up on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at LaunchpadPod, and our website, launchpadpod.com. Check us out on YouTube. You'll get to see a little triple dose of Hanson today because we have some special guests in the house. We'll get into it though, but we got a fun little episode.
This is going to be a fun one. I think this is a special episode.
This is a special episode. So let's dive right in on the Launchpad Podcast.
Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
All right, welcome to Launchpad Podcast. I'm Aaron.
I'm Matt.
I'm Matt's dad, Sean.
You're going to do it too.
Go ahead, Rumi.
He's here. Matt's dad is here. This is the Launch Dad podcast, as real as it gets.
We have interviewed legends like Dolph Lundgren, Dave Gibbons, Kelly Jones,
Zeb Wells in a creepy garage,
the director of Ghost Shark, but all those pale in comparison to the man who gave me life. Without him, none of you would get to see my lovely face and hear my sexy voice. Papa Dukes Corrigan, this is my dad, Sean Corrigan. Rumi, you know him, but Dad, say hi to the Launchpad.
Hello, Launchpad. How are you? I hope you're all well. I just want to qualify something that I lost a bet, and that's why I'm here today.
Man, he's going to lay it on thick. I hope you guys are ready.
Oh, man. Well, yeah, it's no fun losing bets to Matt. I know that for a fact.
Well, we were trying to get my dad on an episode. My dad is visiting from South Carolina. I'm in Los Angeles. As you guys know, Rumi's still in Georgia. And I talked to Rumi. I was like, what do you think about having Papa Dukes in the show? And Rumi was like, yeah, what are we going to talk about? So we had a couple ideas. We were going to try to watch Halloween 3 and then talk about it because my dad is not a shitty movie kind of guy. Rumi's rocking the Halloween 3 apparel. Make sure you guys are checking it out on YouTube. And then you get to also see what my handsome boy face is going to look like in another 30 years.
You wish.
But
God willing.
We gotta all right, you gotta keep your microphone in the same spot all the time. Rest it on your chin like that.
You're kidding.
No, that's professionalism, Dad. Just because we talk about dildo pizzas doesn't mean that we are not professionally recording.
Oh, I'm not eating that. That wasn't in the bet.
Well, we decided we had a good idea, I think, for an episode for today. My pops and I definitely don't have an issue with confidence, and I know Rumi doesn't either. I'm going to assume that was because he lived with me for a couple of years. But we decided that there are some movies, some comics, some things in the entertainment world that would be better if we were cast instead of whoever, was in that.
I mean, this happens to me all the time where I'm just watching a movie. I'm like, I would be better at this. I would be better at this.
That's not how I would have did it.
And I think there's something that should be said. I also want to say at the end of this episode, I want to name some ones that I thought of. I was like, would I be better in this? And the truth would be no. I think it's perfectly.
Yes, I have that too. I
got a couple.
Figured we'd do the same shit. Yeah.
All right. Well, how are we kicking off, Matt? Where do we start? How do we start this awesome idea?
All right. Well, we'll start with one. I'll start it with one of the ones that my dad and I were kind of like. It's the example I used for pitching this idea to my dad. First of all, John Wick. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the movie John Wick. And I'm not saying that I would be a better John Wick than Keanu Reeves. But if I was John Wick and someone killed my dog and fucked up my beautiful Toyota 4Runner that I'm in love with right now, first of all, it would not take me 3 movies worth of revenge. I would finish that shit in 90 minutes. It would be done. I think I would be awesome at that. The only thing that I think would be different if I was in John Wick is I wouldn't wear a suit. I can't imagine like hand-to-hand combat for like an entire eevening in a suit.
Your assassin name wouldn't be the Ghost. You'd be Cargo Pants. Look out. Look out for the cargo
Is
pants.
there a more tactical revenge garment? I defy you to tell me.
I think I've only seen you in a suit once when you got married.
Yeah, this next
That
time
was
is when
it.
you're dead. That's the next time I'm going to wear a suit. Is at your funeral. That's it. I booked it.
Oh, man. But I think I like John Wick in a suit because he's classy.
It looks baller, but can you imagine playing basketball in a suit?
No.
And I think that can we agree that an evening of John Wick's
You're forgetting
revenge?
a bulletproof suit.
That was the second one. It was a bulletproof suit, right? And you're like, okay, I'll go along with that.
It's pretty good.
It's awesome. I just don't. And Reservoir Dogs, same thing. I mean, Reservoir Dogs, they thought they were just going to do a robbery. They didn't realize it was going to turn into like fucking running down the street. But like, I always think that looks so cool. Pulp Fiction, it looks cool, but it is not the most comfortable garment to be fighting other humans.
And like when we have like producers who show up on set wearing suits all the time, I'm like, joke's on you. It's like 90 degrees out here in Georgia humidity, and you're in a suit. Have fun, buddy.
but blood does look better on a suit. Like his collar in most of those movies gets all bloodied out.
That's true.
You know, but I think before you get into the suits and stuff, if you're talking about personal appearances, John Wick, first of all, shampoo your hair. Second of all, shave your beard, trim it. I mean, that's the worst beard I've ever seen.
Why? What do you like about
Because it's patched up here, there's a spot here, there's a spot here, on both sides of his face. He grows like a triangle right here. It should be trimmed. I'm sorry. And I love John Wick, but if you're going to be a classy killer, come on.
He's got it. You got to have the nice facial hair for it.
You do.
I understand that. Yeah, I thought about something with Keanu Reeves, and he's usually just so damn good. I think I could pull off a Bill and Ted better than him, but part of the joy of Bill and Ted is he's such an idiot. So, I think I would be more efficient with but I was always good at writing papers, especially that were extra credit related. Like if I had to go through time to steal a bunch of people, I think I could pull it off a little bit more efficiently than him.
I would like to see, I had a couple that would actually be good Rocketeer substitutions.
Yeah.
And you and I in high school going back in time to get A's on reports would be friggin' awesome. That would
I
be
think we
hysterical.
could pull that off spectacularly.
But you know Bill and Ted?
You're off tangent there.
You know Bill and Ted? No, I think
Yeah, I know Bill and Ted.
if Rumi and I had to go back in time, all right, what class would we do it for?
Algebra. I don't know.
History, I suppose, right? That's what they were doing.
I mean, I was good at history. I was terrible at algebra.
So I'd go back and go back in time to middle school and teach you algebra correctly.
There we go. So I always was able to do movies for my like extra credit projects.
Sure.
So I
Yeah,
would
yeah.
I would just bomb tests and never do homework because I knew at the end of the year I'd be like, teach, can I do a movie? And they're like, yeah. Because they always just wanted to see what would happen. It would show up and I'd get like everybody involved and like we'd always get in trouble with the movie that we made. So one year we made this movie, it was called Odysseus, and it was Arnold Schwarzenegger as Odysseus retelling it, and he ended up getting crucified by Black Jesus, and we did it on the cross on top of our Catholic school. We got in a lot of trouble.
Was one of you playing Schwarzenegger, or did he actually
Yeah, there was a guy pretending to be Schwarzenegger.
I did, me and my buddy Kevin did a rap / rhyming thing of Dred Scott, who was a slave who earned his freedom. And I played Dred Scott in a black, like knit hat, like a beanie, and all black, like clothes, black t-shirt and black track pants. And I talked with an accent. It was not meant to be racist, but I wouldn't screen it today.
I wouldn't
The
screen
rhymes
it today.
were well written and performed.
Did you get
It was
that extra
awesome.
credit?
Fuck yeah, I did. Same thing as when I did a stop motion animation of the Scarlet Letter.
That's
dude.
awesome. Yeah, I did a stop motion of The Great Gatsby with monkeys, and they ended up tearing each other apart because they were mean monkeys.
Wow. Well, can I just ask a question? Maybe I'm a little older than you guys. But what's this got to do with John Wick? And
this is a launch pad.
you're going
thing.
like,
All right, well, bring it back. What's a movie or a property that you would put you in?
When you approached me with this, the key thing in my mind, and which is very important to me too, is revenge. So in my head, I'm thinking of films like Man on Fire,
Yeah.
which is one of my favorite films of all time. You know, Taken, number one, and The Godfather. And I'm thinking of the themes in there. Now, could I do a better job in a couple of parts? Like with Man on Fire, my favorite Creasy character. The only thing I didn't like with him was that he's in the beginning, comes in, he's troubled, his soul is tortured. Here's a guy who's been a CIA black operative for 50 years, and now he's starting to worry about his soul's redemption. He's reading the Bible until he meets Dakota Fanning, and then he goes right back to his go-to, macabre monster, perfect revenge guy.
Yeah.
So if I was him, I'd throw that Bible out in the beginning. I'd be reading one of his comic books or something because I'd be sitting there getting ready for the big revenge scenes. Same thing with Taken. I mean, I like that because as a parent, are you a parent, Aaron?
Yeah, I have a daughter.
Younger than
I've
Ken.
always said I could do better in Taken. Before I had a kid, I was like, this guy's terrible at being a parent and at saving his children.
Right.
What are you talking about?
Right. Well, he's a bodyguard in the beginning with the singer, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't be losing my kid in the first place. At least
Wait
Right.
till Sammy
Hold
goes
on.
to France and gets kidnapped.
All right,
You
I'll
just
give
wait,
him
I'm
the
throwing this
first
in your
movie.
face.
I'll give him the first movie, but he has 2 other movies where he keeps losing his kid. Stop that shit, dude.
Yeah.
At one
I mean,
point,
yeah,
Child
I mean,
Protective Services.
There's
is
some
coming in.
loose ends there. He's got to, somehow stop compromising his career with his family life. He's got
Exactly.
to incorporate them both, right? And in The Godfather,
Yeah.
I mean, here's a guy, Michael Corleone, to me, one of my favorite characters of all time. Revenge factor is throughout. I mean, here's a guy who spends his whole adolescent and young adulthood denying his heritage. And then as soon as his father gets harmed and his family's in danger, reverts right back to that fucking revenge code. And I'm going to take care of all these guys. And he methodically plans it out.
Are you saying you would have seen the money in the first place and been like, I'm down for this gangster
Well,
stuff?
I mean, why go into the Marines? He would have got you out of the Marines. You would have missed World War II. You would have, leapfrogged over Sonny in the parents' ordering, right? Am I losing Mike
When
here?
you're talking like this and you turn this way.
Oh, okay. But I mean, that's where I changed a little bit. And I also changed 2 other areas. The way he related to his wife, Kay, after she kind of dumped him and told him about the abortion, and killing Fredo. Like, I wouldn't have killed Fredo. I think the best revenge would have been
What sort
to
of
let him
revenge is
live.
that?
Because Fredo hurt him, right?
Right.
And he had to kill him to show everybody that you can't hurt me,
Right.
But what would be the greater revenge for Fredo? To let him live as that meaningless...
But think about Fredo as a
Fisherman.
character. He was always such a little pansy,
Right.
selfish, withdrawn character.
Right.
Would letting him live have made him feel terrible? I don't think so.
I don't know.
I would have
He
been.
was
I would think
wasted.
I got away with
Out
it.
of the hierarchy, you shoot him. What difference did it make? You didn't miss him before he was
fucked
killed
with
or
Who
afterwards.
fucked with
You
Michael
could screw with him
Corleone
the
after
rest of the
fact?
time, right? Anyway,
No. What do you think, Rumi? You killing Fredo? If you're Michael Corleone, you killing Fredo?
Hey, it's always nice to have somebody in your pocket, dude. I'm just saying.
What does he?
like,
But what does he get
That's
you?
right.
What does he get you though? Vegas connections? You already have them, right?
picks
By
up
that
your
point,
laundry and
everybody
shampoos
who
your dog,
knows-
dude. I always need somebody to go pick up my mom at the
He's
airport.
just a gopher. He's just a gopher.
I mean,
like, hey, thanks for setting us up out west,
right.
Fredo. Now go fucking get my dry cleaning.
right,
Duh.
right. And everybody in their universe knows Fredo. They're waiting. Is Michael going to kill him, or is he going to be a busboy for Michael for the rest of his life?
I
That's-
don't. I
to
just
me,
don't see
that's
how
a greater revenge.
I don't see what that gets you. But okay, so is that? And tell me, I want to hear what you would do different with the wife Kay. Should we get mom in here for this too, so she can hear?
No. Oh, yes,
what would
ma'am.
you do different?
Well, he let her go on his way. He restricted her from the kids. I'm at a crossroads whether I'd have her killed or hurt because she hurt him dramatically more than anybody else.
Because of the abortion.
Right, with the
Yeah.
abortion and the fact that, she says, Michael, you're an abomination, blah, 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 blah. And, I wouldn't bring another one of your seed into the world, right? And now he took the 2 kids and let her really basically go start her own life. And she saw the kids as they were growing up. And she was able to be not a live-in mother, but it didn't fit his profile as I'm getting revenge. I'll kill my brother because he hurt me. Why not his wife?
I get that.
Because childcare is expensive, guys. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but you made that Vegas bank because now you save money on dry cleaning and dog shampooing because you didn't kill Fredo.
Yeah.
and now you have somebody to ferry the kids back and forth to her house. So I think it's a win-win if you let them both live and take care of your, stuff you don't like to do.
Well, make Fredo marry his wife.
Yeah, but even like I get the revenge angle on that. I knew you were going to do a Godfather. My dad is a huge Godfathers fan, both the book and the movies, some of the movies. I thought for me, I was going to say that I would be older Michael Corleone in the third one. And just when I get out, they try to pull me back in. I'd be strong enough to stay out and just enjoy my fucking retirement. I'd be like, nah, man. Yeah. No, you guys you fucking deal with Andy Garcia. I'm out.
Well, they left out a big portion of that third film. And who told Michael it was a good idea to change his hairdo like that? stick it up here. I mean, come on.
Well, that was age makeup because they were like, oh, he's old now.
You couldn't pick a better saint? The medal of Saint Sebastian? Come on. What about Saint Patrick, Saint Christopher?
He was hot at the time. They didn't want to just ride the Saint bandwagon for Patrick. They were trying. Saint who was it? Who was it in the movie? Saint Sebastian. He had a better agent.
They cut him in.
What
on
do you
points.
got? You got a movie or a comic or something that you would be better in?
Oh, this one, I'm going to catch a lot of flack for it, but Star Wars, I'd be a better Luke Skywalker. I'm just saying right off the bat. It's a 3-point plan. Well, it's a 2-point plan and one thing that's really embarrassing. So one, I'm not whining nearly as much. I can handle my galactic shit. Just saying, like I would go on that adventure and whine like a third less than what Luke Skywalker does. And I mean,
fair.
I do come on this podcast and whine about like how bad like a movie is, but I think if I had a duty to take a droid somewhere else and drop that shit off, right, I would do it. Like, come on. He whines the entire time.
You would just be bitching about movies on the Millennium Falcon. Like, we're in hyperspeed, and you're like, oh, did you see the most recent Spider-Man?
I'd be like, oh, you guys playing that chess game? Holy chess, boring. So I'd complain a lot less. I would be, I'd get shit done way better than him. And here's the thing. The third movie, I wouldn't even go to Jabba's palace. I'd be like, Hans and Carbonite, he's safe. He's fine. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go kick my dad's ass, kill the Emperor, take over that Death Star, then phone up the Death Star people in the Empire and be like, hey, we're all chill. You guys can settle down now. We're good. Like, it's over. War's over. We would have never gotten to that point. Like, we would have never gotten to that final battle. Admiral Akbar has no trap involved because I already took care of it. Because all they want is me to take over the throne and be like, sure, but I'm not succumbing to the dark side for it. I would go through the pickle to get out the other side.
So are you killing Darth and Palpatine?
Yeah, I'm kicking that my Darth Vader dad's ass.
Are you killing him?
Fuck yeah.
So it's a coup. We're talking about an imperial coup.
I'm doing a straight. Well, he wants me to. The Emperor's like, yes, my son, kill your father.
Each of them wants you to be their teammate. They don't want you overshadowing them. They don't want you taking everything over.
See, that's where they messed up. I would kill them both, sit on that throne, pick up the little phone, be like, beep boop, beep boop. Hey, shut off the Death Star. We're all good. And then
Wait, can we just pause for a second? This is why you need to watch the YouTube version of the show. Rumi just used I guess it was a long time ago and not the future, but he just used an actual handset phone on the Death Star.
But here's where it would get really embarrassing. Around the second movie, when Darth Vader cuts my hand off, and then I find out that Leia's my sister, it'll be really awkward because I'd hit that shit. Just saying. I would get that done in the first movie.
So that's like old boy style, right? Because like you didn't know, which doesn't make you culpable, but how you'd be barfing twice as hard.
Yeah. Because like I'm sitting there, and also I just got to say this: Vader messed up big time because he'd be like, Obi-Wan never told you what happened to his father, and then what does Luke say?
He told me enough. You killed him.
Is that what he told you? Oh my God, that's hilarious. No, dude, he had the high ground, chopped off my arms and legs and left me to burn alive. That's what Obi-Wan did. Is that what he told? Did he tell you that part? No, he didn't. And I'd be like, the next time I saw Obi-Wan's ghost, I'd be like, Obi-Wan, I got questions.
You're right. If you think this would be a good episode topic,
Yeah.
the top 5 moments that Darth Vader felt rage. Can you imagine hearing your son say that your old best friend and teacher lied to him about that when the truth was that he fucking maimed you? Now, granted, he gave you warning about the high ground beforehand, but he maimed you. He made you what's a quadriplegic -1 called? A tripleplegic?
Multiple.
But yeah, he crippled the shit out of you and left you
a
burning
tripleplegic.
next to a volcano.
Yeah.
And then you lie to my son about it?
Right?
He handled it pretty well, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
it's nice that you young people are thinking these important things up. Well, amidst the COVID and stuff, it's refreshing to know that you're planning for the future.
Yeah, we didn't do a political podcast or anything like that. Now you and I have had some decent fights. Can you imagine a fight that you were either so angry or to prove a point, you would literally chop my hand off?
We didn't have lightsabers, first off.
Trust me, I know.
Second of all, we really weren't allowed. You had that 800 child welfare office number. He had that on speed dial on his little tiny flip phone.
the flip
So you
phone
really
that he
had
just
to
got
watch
rid
what
of?
you did. Yeah. You had to watch what you did.
But I can't, like, you and I never had a bad relationship. Even, like, our worst, I don't think was
wouldn't
as
cut your
bad
hands
as
off.
most people. What'd you say?
I wouldn't cut your hands off.
No, and I same with you. I don't think.
If I had to cut something off, it would be the tongue.
He's right. That's just, I think
Can't
that's
talk,
probably
huh?
true.
Keep talking.
What about you, Rumi? If you when you live with your dad,
Yep.
I mean either of your parents, I guess. Me and mom. No, think of this. I was gonna say if you had swords over the mantle,
She'd be cutting you out.
Did you ever have a fight so bad where you would grab the swords off the mantle? No. He and I, no. My mom and I think we would keep them in scabbards on our belts. I don't think they'd be on the mantle. There would be nonstop on guard in that house. What about you, Ru?
I never had any problems with my parents. I was a good kid. I think they were mad at me when I failed out of college, but I got back in, so it's cool.
Your mom was like, and you're like, I'll reapply.
It was that freshman year. I had my appendix out, and I missed like 2 months.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I missed 2 months of school, and
What's
they were
that
like,
whining, Luke?
Okay, I just want to, just so we know, it's 22 minutes in. Within the first 10 minutes, my dad corrected us and put us back on track, and now he just shut you down for whining.
Well, he said he wouldn't whine if he was Luke. I was believing him for a minute there.
I mean, I will say I do know how to whine real good, but I would whine way less than Luke, especially. I mean, come on.
That's the top-notch wine.
That would be the one that I think I could be better in. And plus, I'd be like so fucking cool. Han Solo would be all jealous and stuff, and it'd be great.
Yeah.
I'd be such a cool Luke. Han Solo would be jealous. That's your next shirt for your birthday, bro. That's awesome. I'd be such a cool Luke. Han would be jealous.
That's a pretty good line.
That's pretty awesome. I'll make that.
I would understand what Chewie was saying, and Han would be like, oh, "Are you talking to him?" I'd be like, high five and Chewie.
Han
and
knew what
shit.
Chewie was saying. Han knew what Chewie. Oh,
As
you're just
Luke.
saying Han would be jealous that.
Yeah,
Luke-
me and
Luke also
Chewie
knew?
would get we'd get a thing
Yeah.
going. It'd be awesome.
You'd have like your own language.
Yeah, secret hand signs like Wookiee.
What does Wookiee pig Latin sound like? Oh, all right, Pops.
Yeah.
What do you got? Another one?
No, I really Glossy is revenge. Like I go back to Man on Fire. He's sitting there and he's talking to the mother. The mother's all distraught, and she says, "What are you going to do?" He puts the Bible down and says, "Well, I'm going to do what I do best. I'm going to find everybody who profited from this, and I'm going to kill them." And she looks at him like, "What? Like what?" And he just goes out and kills him. If that was me, the only thing I changed, because he really was good, revenge-wise, I wouldn't have worn that Harlem shirt. I would have wore like a Queens, New York shirt.
My dad's from
St.
Queens.
John's or something, you know?
I mean, I already heard
St.
your
John's
affinity
Revenge.
for suits. I thought you'd be putting on the 3-piece.
Well, he was the undercover, so
It would be a Saint. It would be a St. John's tracksuit, like a basketball tracksuit.
I have a friend who worked on that film. He
Really?
was an assistant director And I worked with him, and he was like a PA on that movie. And he said they went on a location scout, and their location manager got kidnapped by men with machine guns, and the production
Really?
had to pay $50,000 to get him back.
Wow.
Wouldn't it be awesome
Wow.
if then there was an actual man on fire situation? Like if the EP went on a revenge spree and killed all the members of that gang? Where's that movie? Where's that true Netflix crime series?
Have I told you? So I worked at a rental house that rented out equipment. I rented a bunch of equipment that went out to Japan, and the equipment disappeared. Like the guy stopped calling us, and he stopped paying, and his credit card bumped. And our boss was like, damn, I guess I got to go get it. And we're like,
and this is your crazy fucking boss who you told me
this
crazy
is a very
about?
normal guy. This guy ran the rental company. It was Indie Rentals at the time. It became Division Camera. And he's like, I got to go get it. And suddenly, like a week later, we get a call, and he's like, I got it. We're shipping it back. And he came back, and his story was they went to the hotel room. He met some Australian mercenaries in the Japanese airport, just met them. He didn't plan this, just met them. And they're like, we'll help you find this guy. And he found the hotel room where the equipment was being kept, and they kicked it in and stole it. And in my mind, it's like they had to come in through like the skylight to get it.
Sure.
But like this guy was doing crazy badass shit all the time. We had a tripod get stolen once, and he showed up to work, and he's like, I need a tripod bag. And I bring him the tripod bag. He puts a shotgun in and is like, I got to go get the tripods back. And he left, and he goes, if I'm not back in 2 hours, call the police.
This is not the crazy boss that the helicopter and the cocaine statues.
Nope.
And
This is a normal boss who ran a normal business. 3 hours passed, and we were like, oh my God, we have to call the cops. Oh my God, we have to call the cops. We kept calling his phone. Nothing. Finally, he answers. He's like, oh, sorry, I forgot to check in. We're like, you told us you left with a shotgun and said, if I'm not back in 2 hours, call the cops. We waited an extra hour to not call the cops because we were freaked out.
I would have fired you. I could have been killed.
Well, we were like, did you get the tripods back? He's like, oh, yeah, we got it back. I was like, it's crazy.
Been awesome if he had the shotgun affixed to the tripod.
He also did not have a 3-piece suit on for that, so I'm disappointed.
Maybe he changed, like he left. Maybe he was like he didn't want to pick up the tripod bag in the 3-piece suit. Maybe he changed before he went out. He's got to take that slow motion shower to show off all of his tats, right?
Trying to change into a 3-piece suit in the car, I think would be terrible. Like,
can you imagine if you get to a hotel and you go into like you're fresh from the flight and you go into the hotel, you splash some water on your face in the lobby bathroom, change into your suit, and then go upstairs to kick in the door to get your film equipment back?
yeah. Take that minute. Curl with your curl the carpet with your toes. Fist with my toes.
But you go back to that theme of suits and killing and revenge. James Bond, right? I mean, come on, he's always.
But I guess so.
James and Man from Uncle, before your time, Man from Uncle, In Like Flint. All these guys wore suits that had different hidden compartments for guns and knives.
Do you think they got sweatier than John Wick did? Like in their average adventure.
John Wick, I don't know. He was always sweating.
He's
and
running.
bloody.
He's shooting. He's he's gun
Right.
cutting with guys. I just think you're sweating balls, don't you think?
He's got
Mr.
a big
Corrigan,
package.
who is your Bond? Who's your favorite Bond? If you could,
My favorite was Sean Connery, the first one.
My dad's a big
Second
Bond
favorite was
guy.
Daniel Craig, though. I like Daniel.
He likes
Craig
Daniel Craig a
because he
lot.
was ruthless. He wasn't like kissy poo. I'm cute and smart was my remarks. He was kind of like bad guy. Poof. And I like that.
if you could put yourself into a James Bond movie, do you think you're better than like a Roger Dalton?
Oh, easy. and anyone that Roger
Moore
was
Moore.
in.
Roger
Forget it.
Moore. That was who I was
Forget it.
thinking.
He was what a candy ass. I mean, I said James Bond. He must have known somebody in the Broccoli family that owned a Bond franchise. I don't know if they still do, but he was a terrible Bond. Sean Connery was good. I actually thought Pierce Brosnan was not bad.
He was all right.
Because he looks the part. But Daniel Craig had the right attitude for it. He was like, you're a bad guy, I'm a good guy. Not that really good guy, but I'm a good guy. And I have a job to do. And I have a license to kill, motherfucker. That's it.
That's a pretty cool license to have. Yeah,
it is.
I mean, you have that license.
Yeah,
you may as well flex
there's only
it,
9
right?
of them, right? So
Except Timothy Dalton was in License to Kill. See, I mixed the two worst Bonds up.
Well,
Yeah.
Rumi,
He wasn't actually bad, but I don't know why these actors, they struggle their whole young life to make it, and they make it and they get offered a job at a franchise like that. So you do it for 10 years.
right there.
My God, why would you turn that down?
Maybe he had a shitty experience.
Like the
on it.
Avenger guy who plays Captain America.
Chris Evans.
Yeah, he was unsure he wanted to sign long term to that. I was like, what are you going to do? Bonanza?
He could do anything he wants. And also, if you
Now
do
we
one
can.
event,
Now
if you do
we
one
can.
or two Avengers movies, you don't have to do any more
Man.
after that. You could be done. You don't have to work anymore, probably.
Well, that's another theme. I don't want to be typecast. What are you talking about? You want to wash cars while you're waiting for a job? I mean, I don't get it.
I like that Chris Evans would play Captain America in 2 mainstream American superhero movies and then have to wash cars.
But Eddie,
Speaking of Captain America, he's actually on my list. So pretty much every origin story of Captain America, you have skinny, scrawny, wants to be in the army, Steve Rogers, but he trips over his own shoelaces, skinny little guy, weakling. He gets the super soldier serum.
but super patriotic.
Super patriotic, yeah, that's his superpower as a weakling, is he loves America and wants to do what he can. He volunteers to get injected with the super soldier serum, right? And becomes Captain America. The downside of that is during that experiment, the Nazis break in, they kill the scientist who had the only formula in his head. We can't recreate that, so we can only have one Captain America, theoretically, right?
Way to not take notes, right?
Well, well, I think they didn't want to fall into the Nazi hands. My thought is, if you are this government agency that's made this serum that can transform someone into a super soldier, why would you start at a -10 when you can start at like 110? Inject me with that super soldier serum. How much stronger of a Captain America would I be than Steve Rogers? Because you're already starting with an empty vial with Steve Rogers. Me, I'm overflowing already.
I think it's because
I'm going to recuse myself from that.
they didn't want to lose an able-bodied soldier if it went wrong.
Ooh, good line.
They lose
Sure.
nothing.
Good
They
line.
lose nothing if Steve Rogers dies in the
Sorry,
operating
Mrs.
table.
Rogers.
Yeah, right. Exactly. They lose nothing. It's like it's kind of a no gain thing. But if they lose you, man, that guy could have been shot up with machine guns on the front. I mean,
Cannon fodder.
the logic is sound, Rumi, but their reasoning is the flaw.
That makes sense, but I still think I would have been a bitchin' Captain America.
let me ask
I
you
think
this.
That would have been awesome. Go
because
for it.
this comes up with my wife all the time.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I know what you're gonna say. Yes, I'm wearing the chainmail, the little feathered chainmail.
Very cool.
On my Captain America.
No.
for sure.
It's that idea. If you start at 110% and you add super serum to it, should that make it better? I'm always like, I want to make steakums with the Angus beef. And she's like, no, that Angus beef should be eaten on its own. But I'm like, but a steakum is good and Angus beef is good. So like, if we had this like prime rib, this good shit, and then we put cheese on it, doesn't that make it 120% better than if it was just ate on and I'm never allowed to do it? And it's just like, but there's two things that are good.
Well, I would say the same thing you said to me about German and American chemical bioengineered weapon experiments. If you have delicious steak and for the first time ever, you pour steakum bullshit on there, did you just fuck that steak up? Because now what are you going to eat? Now you got to have cereal for dinner.
I'm always down for cereal.
You're like steakumurials? Cereal steakums?
No, I'm just saying. If you have something that's good and you use better ingredients, it just makes that thing better. I'm agreeing with you. But yeah,
So you go from Captain America to Steakums. That's amazing.
That's the show,
It's
Dad.
just amazing. You know?
don't
I can
listen
see
too
why
often,
old
do
people
you?
get dementia because we can't keep up with you guys. We're looking for, okay, what's the next logical step?
This is a tame
Or
episode, too.
And this is like boom, boom.
We got on crazy tangents last
it's like
week,
a
remember?
ping pong game.
Oh man, yeah, we started talking about shoelaces. for a really long time. We're wild.
There you go.
Ruby, you got another one, dude? You just said. Are we bouncing
Let's
back?
see. In the same vein as Captain America, I'm Jason Voorhees. I have all the menace and all the killing and all the fucking camp tools, but I'm pretty fast runner. So like, imagine Jason's a pretty efficient, I know you don't know the movies as well as we do, but you know Jason with the hockey mask, right?
Right.
He never runs. Anytime you see him, he's walking. But he always magically ends up. I'm chasing those fuckers down. Nice try.
You'd be having birthday cake on Friday the 13th by the afternoon. Like the camp's empty, slaughterhouse done, and you're just like,
where's that picture of Jason Voorhees shirtless with the mask on, with a like bathing suit trunks on, just reclining on the dock?
Yeah, sipping a Mai Tai, eating birthday cake. Heck yeah. No, you were so right. I mean, both Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, Leatherface, all those guys, they just are not. I could do
Leatherface runs.
He runs, but he's
a big fat chainsaw wielding guy. How
I
fast
know, but
is he going?
he's bad at his
a
job.
marathon with all these killers. Have them set up like
Do a race?
What's a small marathon? A 5K, right?
Yeah,
A 10K,
okay.
right? Have them run. Who take odds on what? Who's
That would
gonna
be
win?
funny as shit to watch because they would just walk.
Go-
They would only progress if you looked at someone else.
Yeah.
So like first there'd be like maybe Michael Myers would be first, then Jason, then Leatherface. If you were watching Jason, suddenly Michael Myers would take the lead, but you wouldn't see it happen, right? He would just be there.
It's like the freaking Greyhound races, but instead of the rabbit that they chase, it's like some teenage girl.
A blonde girl, a blonde girl in brawn panties.
Yeah, just running, and like every time she looks back, they're just closer.
Yeah, we need a promiscuous young lady to start this race off.
I think it'd be funny to do like a slasher triathlon. It's like the first one's like stalking, the second one is like stabbing, and then
It would be cool to take them out of their element, though, right?
Yeah.
So you take like a water killer, and he's not the one that's doing the swimming, right?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
put like Leatherface swimming.
Jason's like, look, this dude can't even swim.
That'd be awesome. Is Leatherface is trying to swim, and all of a sudden, young, big-faced Jason Voorhees comes up and grabs him and pulls him down.
Yeah. In my head, it's still at like an Olympic stadium. It's just Nagano. It's like,
Well, I'll do this. Think about that one step further. Think about the audience watching that sporting event, right? Because it's not regular humans. It's like friggin' weirdos like us wearing T-shirts like yours, right? It's essentially what Comic-Con would look like if it went to a sporting arena.
but they're
right?
all just booing. Like, there's no cheers. Everybody's just booing.
It would never be good enough.
Interesting.
Oh my god. Do you have any more ideas queued up specifically? You don't have to, but if you do, I'll give you another turn.
No, I don't have.
Rumi,
anything
go for it. What do you got on your
Boom.
list?
Home Alone, my dude.
I have it too. I knew we'd overlap on something, but I bet you mine's different than yours. You go first.
Oh, so well, it was a 3-prong approach as usual. Home Alone. If I'm Kevin, right off the bat, I'm not a dick, and so I get to go on a Paris adventure, and the movie's just maybe a little more cultured. I mean, it doesn't have the hilarious traps, but I'm in Paris. I hook up with some chick with hairy armpits, but it's cool, you know? Or I'm just better at making traps. So let's say I am a dick and I get left home alone. I'm strapping knives to the iron that falls down the shaft, and Marv's getting stabbed in the face. I'm hooking gas up in a super soaker to the blowtorch, and Harry, he's getting burned alive. Like, look, I would be eating my mac and cheese by 9 o'clock. I'm just saying, like, it's
So it's a little bit of Home Alone mixed with First Blood, right? Like we're not just trying to protect the house. We are trying to kill the invaders. We're trying to slaughter the invaders.
They would be ruined. I would kill the invaders really quick. But I'm not interested in being Kevin McAllister. I want to be Marv, and I'm adding child murder to my rap sheet because he was terrible at being a criminal. Like, he already had a van full of good shit. He could have just left the house alone, but no, he had to get in there. I would be so much better at capturing Kevin McAllister than any of these guys. And my wife goes, yeah, but then there wouldn't be a sequel, which is the better movie. And I was like, really?
Then you like divorced her and then also made her watch the movie. I love you, Kate, but come on, man.
The second one? No, she loves that one, but that's the first one she saw. So I'm like, that's kind of like Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels and Snatch. Whichever one you see first is the one you like better.
I get it, but she's wrong. But
yeah.
Love you, Kate.
Bird Lady versus Shovel Slayer. Come on, mommies.
So in my notes, I wrote Home Alone Me and Rumi as the Wet Bandits. Movie would have been 20 minutes long.
20 minutes long. 20 minutes long. The kid would be like, I set all these traps. And I'd be like, your traps suck. Also, we set traps. Run through the house, kid.
Now, it's funny because Home Alone was a very natural choice to me. And I very quickly thought of the two of us as Marv and Harry. I didn't even think about me being Kevin, although when you just started talking, and I don't know if you remember this, when I lived in New York, me and my friends used to have trap wars. And the reason we did that was because they had a book in the school library that was about this thick, and it was a weapons like almanac. And in it, it showed you how to make certain traps.
The same trap book from the end of Nightmare on Elm Street 1?
Similar idea, but like I made not like a snare, but like a thing that if you touched a rope, if you kicked a tripwire, a bunch of empty plastic soda bottles would descend on your head from up above on a fishing line. There was that one. We would put things over doors, so if you opened the door, it would fall on your head. Things that would swing but like we did multiple things. You know who we used to do it with? The Hennigans, family friends of ours. The Hennigans have like 1,000 kids. So we would break into two groups and we'd take 2 rooms of their house and you'd this is the best. You'd set the traps up in one room and they'd set the traps up in the other room. And then you take turns like, okay, our group will come to your room and go through your traps. Then they'd come to ours. And my sister was in the other group and we had something on the top of the door. Now the door was cracked open. My sister and my cousin start to walk up. My sister, no dummy, looks up and sees that there's a sneaker balanced on top of the door. Doesn't tell her teammate. Simply allows Kim to go first.
That's amazing.
That's Aubrey. Yeah.
I love that you guys basically set up like a Saw level of like.
Yeah.
Want to play a game?
That's what we did.
That's awesome.
And the parents were either cool enough to know we weren't murdering each other, or we're just having their own fun, and we're like, no one's crying.
Yeah, right?
No one's crying. No one's bleeding.
When I was in Boy Scouts, we had to have a very serious meeting because the Scoutmasters caught these gentlemen digging a pit and putting sharpened spikes in the pit and trying to cover the pit with leaves. And they're like, what are you doing? And they're like,
you got to smear the sticks with feces first.
they were like, catch a bear or something. And they're like, no, a human being is going to die because of you. Like, what is wrong with you? And they caught him like sharpening sticks and digging a hole. And they had to be like, guys, there are no bears. You do not need to build a bungee
Lord
death
of the Flies.
trap. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I ran into some Lord of the Flies moments for sure.
All right, Rumi, let's make a pact. The next time one of us visits the other one or sees the other ones, we have to do a trap war.
Okay, trap war.
Now, if this works the way I hope it does, we remember that this is happening. One of us does, not the other one. And we don't discuss it. So if I come visit you guys, you just fucking McAllister your house, and my family walks in and just is in the thick of it immediately.
You just come in and an iron with knives strapped to it swings past your head. And you're like, whoa, Rumi. Rumi.
Yeah, but the best is, you know how my family works. I will walk in and see the knife laden iron on the banister, and I'll let Amanda go first. I'll hang back a minute. Whoosh.
Right. And remember, the Corrigans like revenge.
That's true. He's big on revenge today. You have any more? You have any more set up?
I do. I have one more.
What do you got?
Harry Potter. All of them. Every single one of those movies. Again, Harry's a whiny bitch, and I would be way better at not whining.
Okay.
Also,
look better in a robe.
Dude is a wizard, and he's not using that shit right. His step-parents treat him like shit. Hi, I'm a wizard. Things are changing around here real quick.
Yeah, right.
Because I'm a wizard. Also, you keep sending me back to the most dangerous school on the planet. Everything bad that happens to Harry happens at that school. I'm going to go get a job. Or I'm just going to be like, money, magic, poo-poo, poo-poo, and then I'll just do whatever I want. I don't need to go back to your shitty school to learn more magic. There are plenty of people in this magic world that'll be like, oh, you're the chosen one. I'll teach you some fucking magic tricks. I don't need to go to your dangerous ass shit school. Also, like by the 4th book, they're like, everybody's like, we're joining this cool tournament. You want to get in this tournament? He's like, no, not really. And everybody's like, good, we don't even want you. And he ends up in the tournament. I would have never done that tournament because I don't get into sporting events.
I'm not a tournament guy.
I'm not a tournament guy. I'm not playing your stupid broomstick game, fly through, catch the golden snatch or whatever. It's stupid. I am not doing any of that shit. I'm going to learn my magic, make money appear and disappear. And then if that Voldemort dude wants to show up and tussle, I'm down. I got it. I mean, obviously, I've already said I'm good at lightsaber fighting, kick Vader dad's ass. I'll kick fucking Voldemort's ass too. I don't care. Like, all my friends are idiots in this thing. They have time travel, yet never use it to do anything important. They just do it to like spy on each other. They have like maps and invisibility robes that they only do for they only use it for mischief. I'm a wizard and the chosen one. You didn't haven't you ever read a Star Wars? Shouldn't you know how this works? Come on.
I gotta slow your roll in at least one of those regards. You and I have fucked around with time travel numerous times.
Yep.
How did that work out every single time?
Awesome.
I mean, if you guys haven't been with us the whole time, go listen to some of our Leprechaun episodes for sure. We fuck up the whole space time continuum in that by trying to change the Leprechaun franchise.
Do you still do the podcast if you're a wizard?
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, yeah, but I'm probably not supposed to tell people that I'm the chosen one wizard, but I'm just saying.
You don't want to brag.
It's like Archer. It's like, why do it then?
Yeah, why
right?
do it?
Archer, why be a secret agent if you don't tell everyone you're a secret agent?
Despite destroying multiple timelines, at least it was hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm on board. I'll be your Ron Weasley, right? Obviously.
But I mean, come on. I could go get a job in a magic city. Like, why? I don't know. He keeps going back to the school, and that just seems stupid to me. So, Harry Potter, I'm smarter than you.
Oh God, I hope Harry Potter calls in.
You flunk out of Hogwarts, huh?
I'll
you can
flunk out of
handle
Hogwarts.
Emerson. You're going to handle Gryffindor.
Think of how upset your parents would be.
I pulled the sword down off the shelf.
Are they muggles?
I'm a wizard. This is gets real quick. Nah, but I got back into college. I ended with a 3.5. It worked out.
Good.
3.5.
Is that your time?
Yeah, I had to do some
he
summer
doesn't
school.
do sports.
In a race.
I had to do some summer school and some video projects.
All right. I was trying to think of some really good father and son properties to replace both of us in one. So first, obviously, that came up was Luke and Darth. And I was thinking like, okay, I get that, but we already talked about some of that. I'll give you one or two movies that have a very strong father and son connection. You tell me what you think if that was us. And then also, and Rumi, you could feel free to throw shit at us too, but you can think too. First of all, Sam Mendes, Road to Perdition. Tom Hanks, you remember that movie, right? He's a gangster,
hitman, right?
Yeah, he's a gangster hitman.
Yeah.
And then his son sees a hit, and then the mob boss.
I think
comes
I
after
actually
his
saw
family.
that with you.
You did in the movie
And
theaters.
I wasn't really impressed with it.
Oh, I love it.
I don't remember it.
Okay, but you're a
I remember he
hitman.
had the machine gun.
You're a hitman, and you're the hitman. You're the executioner. Right. And I witness a murder, and your boss, who was played by, who was that? That was a huge actor too, right?
I don't remember. The comic book was
It was the guy in like The Natural and stuff. He's your father figure. He kills Mom and Aubrey, tries to kill me and you, but we weren't there.
Right, we were on the road, right?
Well, we go on the road then, Road to Perdition. So, but you go after revenge because it was the son. The son was the one that killed it.
More
so
revenge.
Now so revenge. Me and you are now in a car in the 50s. I guess no, it's probably the 30s.
30s and 40s.
Fighting your way through this gangster organization.
You know, it didn't impress me that much.
Oh my goodness! Did you see that?
I'll have to see it again because I don't.
I love it.
The movie.
It's
the movie
nothing
was
special,
great.
but I like it.
The movie was great, but I watched the movie and then it was like based on a comic book. I went and found that comic book, and the comic book is so much better.
Really? See, I thought the comic book was lackluster, but I only read it once, and it was it was before I got into comics.
It's so good. Same thing with History of Violence.
See, I was going to say, did we read it together? Because I have both of those. I liked History of Violence, the comic, even more than the movie, and the movie
Yes.
I like a lot.
I think Road to Perdition just was smarter. Yeah, Road to Perdition was just a smarter comic book because they had like what his connection with his son is better, and the idea of how he gets offed in the movie added this like Jude Law character of like,
yeah, forget that. I hate when they do that shit.
yeah, well, that was stupid.
You
So
don't need one antagonist character to
the comic
chase.
book was better.
But,
Well, and
all
it
right, what
also
about-
was better because in the movie it was like Jude Law's hunting him down, but in the comic it was like just some random people would show up because everybody wants to kill him. Literally
Right.
everybody wants to kill him. So it didn't need to be somebody. It could be that makes it more, I don't know, scary. Anybody could be out to get you. Kind of like the end of the Sopranos. It didn't
That's
matter who
almost like
killed
the
him.
Bourne Identity, right? The guy
Yes.
doesn't know he's a secret agent and all these skills, and all these people are trying to kill him, and he has no idea what the hell's going on.
That's
a
another
movie
one.
I could definitely do better than Matt Damon.
I was gonna say. I think
No question.
you could
Ruby,
get
you
better.
were going to
revenge
say
on
that he could do a better job?
I was just saying,
Okay.
thinking that because I was looking into movies and Bourne Identity kept coming up as a movie where they kept making stupid decisions. It's like it could have been done in one movie if he just thought about it for like 5 minutes. And also, before he loses his memory, he's on this hit and he shows up. He's like, "Oh, the guy has a family, dude.
Right.
You've been on reconnaissance for 5 months and you didn't know that dude had a family. You didn't do the family check first.
That's right.
Also,
That's
you're
right.
an assassin. You'd be like, cool picture, bam. Like, come on."
Yeah, yeah. I'm in total agreement. Plus, the surprise, I think I would do the surprise factor of knowing all these jujitsu and karate moves. When he gets into a fight, he kicks the shit out of 10 guys with knives and guns, and he turns around and goes, "I don't know why." Believe it? Same thing with a gun. I could speak 4 languages. Oh, I understood what that Korean
I'm
guy
good with
was
guns.
saying.
I'm good with karate, and I speak a bunch of different languages.
Right. And
I have a
money,
bank.
I have money salted all the
all
way.
different and
Yeah.
all different currencies with
Right.
multiple passports.
Yeah.
What's up with me?
Look, I have passports.
What's my deal?
5 guys that look just like me, you know? Going through. I could do that.
All right.
Matt Damon.
I mean,
What
I
about-
think we'd pretty quickly be like, I'm in some sort of secret agent, lost my memory.
Yeah, clear.
trope.
Well,
You bet. You
but I
bet.
wonder if we hadn't seen the Bourne Identity, would we have thought that?
I've seen the
Oh, it's a
Manchurian
great
Candidate.
idea.
All right. What about this, Dad? We're in a hotel, snowing outside, and you start to go a little bit crazy.
Okay.
And then you start like hunting me down around the entire hotel with an axe. Can you imagine that? I'm riding my little tricycle.
You Shawnee.
I think, first of all, despite the impression that he's giving you guys all his revenge shit, which he truly feels, you're so laid back and comfortable with your emotions.
You
and I
would
think you're
really have
good.
to, in a serene environment like the Overlook was,
Overlook.
you'd really have to be annoying to get me. You'd be so quiet there. I mean, relaxing.
It would
have
be
a
like
full
the
bar.
last day. He'd be like picking up the axe, and like the owner would walk in with the keys and be like, "Thanks for taking care of the place."
I'd go, yeah, you're about an hour too late. Smile.
Scatman Crothers comes in, try to save me.
That's right.
Funk.
Scatman was in, what was the other one? He was in that Cuckoo's Nest. He was great in that. Yeah. He was terrific in that.
What do you think, though? Can you see you as a Jack Torrance and me as a Danny Torrance?
Yeah, because you're going from a regular guy, troubled a little bit, to like losing it. Yeah, I think
You would never lose. It would have to be the opposite. Like, I would have to be the one that went crazy and tried to kill you guys. I could see that happening. Easy.
Well, if you're playing the role.
I mean, I go Jack Torrance.
I mean, if I was stuck in an isolated hotel,
You would go crazy.
with you and
Stick with
Mom
you'd be
all
like-
all winter. Even now, when
You'd
we're
be
like,
giving us the axe saying, cut my head off, please. I can't take it anymore.
I would be sacrificing myself to giant lawn sculptures. I'd be like, just eat
You'd
me.
be jumping off the top of the staircase with an axe up like this.
I
Come
mean,
play with us, Matthew. Please get me out of here.
please, come on. Okay, what are we playing? Dominoes, Pokemon?
As
What
long
do you
as that
guys want
dog,
to
I
play?
wouldn't be involved with that dog though. That dog would be like, "Roof." I'd be like, no, I'm good.
Oh, good, thank you. I was just saying, I go Jack Torrance every time I'm on the phone with like the bank for 5 minutes. So it's like an insurance company. I'm
You
like,
got the Jack Torrance hair rocking right now too.
Yeah, I turn into a Jack Torrance. Like, it just get me on a touch tone, like one of those like, if for information, press 1. I'm like, blah, 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 blah. Just,
What was the name of that? The bartender. The ghost
Lloyd?
Bartender. Lloyd.
You're a good man, Lloyd.
Yes, Lloyd. Yeah.
Your money's no good here, sir.
oh, that movie's so good.
The
Man,
book was a lot better.
You like the book better?
I like the
That's
book
one of
a
the
lot
few
better.
that I flip flop on. I don't think so.
I really liked it. I couldn't stand whatever his wife's name was.
The actress?
She looked like olive oil.
Yeah, well, she
know?
played olive oil. But yeah.
She did. But she looked like
She
that.
was.
That was
Yeah.
a perfect cast.
I thought she was great in Shining. I'm sure.
so good.
I'm not saying that
Well,
no one else could play
what a
that.
weird
but-
looking woman.
All right.
Yeah.
You got more? I got a couple quandaries.
Well, I want to say, do you want to start getting into the quandaries and the
Yeah.
one, let me throw you the one that I was trying to think about, and I was like, no, it's perfect the way it is. I couldn't replace the dude in Big Lebowski.
I thought of that
Sure.
too.
Nobody.
Because-
Who could?
I agree.
Well, because what happens in the Big Lebowski is a very Aaron McLean thing to have happen, where you're just like suddenly you're getting attacked by porn producers and thrown in a car, and everybody's trying to get you, and somebody steals your rug. That's a very Big Lebowski Aaron McLean thing. But I am just not as cool as the dude. I just will never. I can't do it. Sorry, guys.
I would agree. We could have a whole episode just on perfectly casted media, and that would be a great. My dad and I love that movie, and just this trip 2 days ago, we were talking about how great all those casting decisions were, and how all those characters and actors work so well together. But that's one of those movies. Who could you possibly recast Jeff Bridges with and have it be even half as good? Really, I don't know. I mean, granted, we know this. This is the one we've had for.
But could you
20 years
imagine
now,
if they had done the what happened with Back to the Future, where they had a different actor for an early film?
Mhm.
They filmed quite a bit with Eric Stoltz. Can you imagine if what is the Eric Stoltz version of the Big Lebowski? Who?
Michael J. Fox.
Man, they stole my rug, Doc. Really tied the room together. This is heavy.
That would be, and then Doc could be the Sam Elliott character at the bar.
Oh, I would watch that.
Yeah, I know. It wouldn't be as good as the original, but yeah, okay. No, I agree with that though. You couldn't.
That's true.
Do you have any others that you thought about? And you're like, nah, I can't do it. That one's too good.
I didn't think of any that were too good, but I did have a couple that boisterous Matt. Oh, I would be great because I'm Matt Corrigan. And then I was like, no, for real though, would you be great? And then I want to talk. I actually want to throw these out to you guys because it's not just a good question whether I could do it. It's a question of whether you guys think you could do these roles, these things.
Okay, all right.
You ready?
Yeah.
First one, Billy Peltzer in Gremlins. Your father brings you home a pet, an exotic pet, and says there's 3 rules, and you can't fuck with those rules. Can you handle it?
Fuck no.
No.
You don't think so?
No, you couldn't.
Why?
Because it's like telling Aubrey that.
Well, I thought the same
And
exact.
have
My
a glass
sister's
of water
Aubrey.
next to it. I don't know what the other two.
See, I wrote Amanda. You can't get them wet. You can't feed them after midnight. And no bright light.
Yeah.
Bright light will hurt or kill them. I
Yeah.
thought the same thing. I was like, easy, I could do that. But then I was like, well, once you break one of them, specifically the water, the rest is all kind of downhill. And you can't take it back unless you start, Meeksies boxing them, just killing them as they're made, right?
Right.
But it's one of those things I was like, no, I think I could do it. I would be responsible. But then it's like, those aren't the easiest rules to follow.
They're too specific. I have a baby and arguably more responsibility than a Mogwai, but the rules are very simple. The rules are so simple. She can sleep in a crib. She can sleep in a box with a blanket. It doesn't you can fudge a lot of it, and babies have grown up to be adults just fine.
Sure.
I do a good job, I think. I like to say I do a good job. I feed my kid, but a Mogwai, those are so specific. Also, good luck. I could do the midnight thing because I'm not staying up till midnight. So, haha, jokes on Mogwai. But I get that thing wet, and dude, I blind myself with sunlight at least once a day. Open up a window. I'm like, God. So,
See, I think it's a
Mogwai's
slippery,
too
because
much.
my first thought was another joke. It'd be a 5-minute movie. My dad would give me the Mogwai and I'd take good care of it. But then I was like, no, really? Would you be able
If you
to?
sneezed on a Mogwai, the water coming out of you.
Well, there's also
Does that
things
count?
like you're not supposed to feed them after midnight. Whose clock are we using? I live on the West Coast. You live on the East Coast. It doesn't matter where the Mogwai is. You start to get into that shit.
Does the Mogwai's time zone change over?
Right. Where are they from?
I thought specifically what you said about my sister, Dad. I live with Amanda, who is not the most graceful individual, and she would admit that. And I know, like, when I'm like, don't touch my comic book shelf. Anything else in this whole house, I don't care what you do. Just don't touch that shelf. Within a week, she came out of the shower, wet, dripping with a towel and hand moisturizer. She put the hand moisturizer on the shelf of the comic book and was squirting it onto her wet hands like this while talking to me. And like, it's one thing to do it when I'm at work if I don't know, but I'm fucking watching you and I'm like, are you kidding me? And I just like, if we had a Mogwai here, I'm saying 17 minutes roughly before I have a house filled with gremlins. Right? Yeah. It would look like watching Seven Dwarfs in my house. So yeah, I honestly think that's one of those things. It's almost like the zombie apocalypse where you're like, how could you not outfight 7 zombies? I feel like I could do that. But then you're like, yeah, but you're there and one thing happens, right? You trip over one thing, and then that fucking changes
the
whole
tiger,
dynamics.
right?
The what?
They ate the tiger, didn't they?
They ate the tiger
In Walking Dead.
Oh,
Yeah, they killed the tiger. Yeah,
Right. They ate him, made him alive.
Nom 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 nom.
Yeah, the tiger's sitting there going, I never bit that guy.
Oh, I could eat
and
a
I
tiger.
was good the whole time, and here I get in trouble, and they run like hell. I'll get eaten alive.
And it's not like that tiger couldn't jump out of that ditch. Come on, I'm still mad about that.
Yeah, I couldn't understand that.
So stupid.
Man.
You got a thinker, Rumi, a head scratcher?
Yeah, Indiana Jones. Because arguably he does everything wrong. Everything wrong. He does it so wrong.
In the opening scene.
He doesn't even have to be in the movie. They would have found that shit, taken it to their secret location, opened the box, and all died anyway. Arguably, Indiana Jones doesn't even have to be in the movie. He's just bumbling along, getting his ass kicked every which way he goes. And at the end, he's just there to scoop up the crate and do something like responsible with it. But like the Nazis would have like destroyed themselves over it. So could you have done better than Indiana Jones?
It's a good way of looking at it. I never thought of it that way.
I think I would have made it out of that first temple without killing Alpha Molita. I'm pretty sure. I think I could have made it out. Like, I don't think I would have had to run from the big boulder. I also would have been smart enough to be like, big boulder, and I would just waited, let it roll over my head through the chute, because clearly it was a chute. Roll, like, I know how traps work. We already talked about this in the Kevin McAllister section.
Big boulder closes the door, seals the temple.
Oh, never go in if there's only one exit. You scout that shit out. You don't do that in video games?
Yeah, right? I know.
I got to exit shit out. You know how many times I've been stuck in places? Boom. That's why I'm still here.
Also, I feel like Indiana Jones was doing it wrong. Obviously, if he had actually attended his office hours, he could have been like banging all these college students. What is he doing? Going out and getting dirty? Like, you're already a professor, probably tenured.
That's low-hanging fruit. Yeah. He wants that high. He's like, I want to go get that butch woman that lives in, friggin' Siberia.
Who can drink me under the table.
Yeah, that's the one.
He insinuates that I hooked up with her underage. Yeah, that's the one I want to go back.
That's the one I want. Yeah, because that's an unclosed book for him. He's got to finish that chapter.
I mean, he's doing it wrong. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Could you be Indiana Jones?
I don't think so.
Let's say at his age, right? Let's say it's his age and his prime. Could you do it? I could see you doing it.
I could do some of the stuff, but I would probably be good at being stupid, at being like
That's
bumbling
the shirt
along,
I'm gonna make
making
for
the
you.
wrong decisions, insulting the wrong people. When I shot that Arab with the sword, I would have been one bullet shy, and I'd be like, "Oh man."
That's probably true. That's a Corrigan thing. Could you eat monkey brains?
Oh,
I wouldn't eat monkey brains, but I would have liked to work with that little kid, the short
round. Yeah,
short round. He was funny. He was funny as hell.
I would have also
no time for love, Dr. Jones.
No time for love. I would have also eaten the date even after the monkey had died. They'd be like bad dates, and I'd be like, well, not this one. No.
I don't eat dates. If it was Oreos, it'd be a different story. I'd be like, I know they're poison, but
right,
I'll take my chances.
Yeah. You're like, well, maybe he just was sick. Maybe the monkey had like cancer. So like, you don't know.
The Nazi who had the hanger to come out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Coat, and he put it on. Everyone thought he was going to be torturing them.
Right.
I thought that was a pretty good move.
My dad likes hangers, that's for sure.
For my suits.
See, for me, I'm like, I'd be way better than Indiana for my suits, my John Wick suits. I'm way better than Indiana Jones because I'm not afraid of snakes. And I was like, yeah, but I fucking hate spiders. And I think there's at least as many spiders in those movies as.
How come you didn't do arachnophobia?
Because I couldn't do that.
I found the biggest black widow I've ever seen in my life in my garage and was like, gotta burn the house down. Kate,
I was going to say, and this is a beautiful segue. I was like, did you get all your childhood friends to go into the sewer and help you kill it?
What? No. What is that from?
It.
Thank you.
I don't remember.
All your childhood friends go down into the sewer and kill a giant spider?
It wasn't a black. I'm thinking Black Widows, Rumi.
Don't be so specific, Rumi. This is the podcast, the Lunchpad podcast. Don't take it so literal.
Of all the spiders,
pizza is not actually a pizza with dildos on it.
Of all the spiders, the Black Widow is the most specific. It's like, look at my butt. Look at it. It has a big red thing on it. You see that hourglass? That means I'm a Black Widow. At least it's specific. All the other spiders are pretty generic in my mind. I couldn't tell you like what spider's what, but a Black Widow, bing, I know what that is. It was as big as my thumb. It was huge. So immediately the next day I had people come out and start spraying the house for shit because I'm like, no.
Oh, I would have moved. See, you said spray in the house? No, I would have been gone. Nuke the site from orbit. That's for sure.
Kate came out, had the gas can. I was about to dump it on the house. She was like, what are you doing? I was like, Black Widow. And she's like, just put it go throw it over the fence. I was like, okay. So I caught it in a cup and I threw it over the fence. But the second I threw it over the fence, I was like, and ran
Did you
back in the
hear
house.
it land? Because that is the mark of a big spider. If an arachnid is so big, you can audibly hear the sound its body makes.
You could hear it land on the leaves and then go scurry away.
To the sewer.
Find its way back home.
Yes. To my
And
house.
now the spider wants revenge.
That's right.
So it puts on this suit with 8 little arms. It's an 8-piece suit, and it shows up
that
at
was
my
a
house.
callback sandwich right there, my friends. That was some good shit. That was pretty funny.
That was pretty good.
All right.
We've hit about an hour.
I got one. I
got one?
know. I got a quandary, and this is a two-parter kind of.
All right, drop it.
Right? It is, or Pennywise, is an ancient spirit that feeds on your fears, right? And the reason that the protagonists in that movie and book are able to fight it is because they can face their fears. They're not as scared, and they look their fears in the eye to a certain extent, right? And I'm like, okay, I am actually afraid of a couple of things, like tangible things, but then also like fear of failure and fear of not being a good enough parent and et cetera, et cetera. I think if I was facing a deity / omnipotent being that I knew that was the power, I think that I can convince myself not to be afraid. And I think I could actually fight that with less problem because I guess, and this is being like real about it, I'm not afraid of the wolf man. I'm not afraid of terrorists. I'm not afraid of, I'm afraid of spiders, but if a giant spider came out of a garage like the size of a car, I would know that that was Pennywise. And I think that I would be able to override my lizard brain of recoiling and be like, that's Pennywise, stay and fight. And I think, which is what those kids did, right, essentially. I feel like I could do that. But then I started to be like, well, what if it didn't? And this would be a fucking great sequel. What if Pennywise wasn't coming at me in the boiler room of the movie theater as the Wolfman? What if it was coming to me as failure of a parent or something bad happening to my family? I don't know how you fight that.
You can't pay your taxes, Matt. You can't pay your taxes.
You're $3,000 shy on the mortgage. I honestly was like, oh, I could fight Pennywise, but I was like, well, what if it was fighting my actual fears? What do you guys feel about that?
Well, I will say this because I don't love worms. Creep me out, and I hate heights. Height worms are the worst. I could defeat the worms. I think I could get past that, but the heights is crippling. It's crippling, and it's not rational. Like you said, if I saw a spider that's as big as a house, that's fake. I can wrap my head around that. The higher the height, it doesn't matter. If I'm at a certain height, I can't walk. So I don't know if I can overcome that. Like I can't move. I will fall down at a certain point if I get too high. I will literally fall down from vertigo. So it's like, I don't know if Pennywise is whipping heights out of his pocket, but in the movie, they defeated him by like negging him on with like negative. They like just basically,
the new movie.
In the new movie, yeah, they basically just made fun of him.
I like when kids bang and then use a slingshot. You know, that's the victory I can get behind.
Acid out of an inhaler.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I could insult him to death either because I'm really bad at like reading people. Like I'd be like, "Your
Your mom is so fat."
Yeah, I'm honestly just not good at it. Like I'm clever and I can come up with a good retort like an hour later. But like at the time, if I'm supposed to like, the library is open, time to start reading. I can't read people. I'm sorry. I'm just not good at it.
What do you think, Dad? You think you could take Pennywise? Are you like strong enough to conquer your fears in that regard?
I'm like overwhelmed with anxiety about the way you guys are responding to this question. Like I'm sitting there going, am I, my fear of being a bad parent or a bad grandparent, could I channel that fear into some kind of energy to overpower a giant spider-like image or some other kind of monster? And I'm sitting there saying, okay, I'm 67 years old and I'm doing a podcast and I'm thinking about these things that I would never think about.
That's what the Launchpad is for.
I guess. And I'm sitting there saying, I can see myself wilting under that kind of overwhelming anxiety. Or I can see myself just focusing on one thing. He's bad and I got to ignore everything else and just beat him.
Right.
Well, else I go down. Right? And that's what it comes down to.
And now that segues into what the last quandary that I had, which is very similar. Green Lantern. You got the green power, right?
Stupidest power. Yellow.
Sure.
I just put a yellow costume on.
But like,
right?
His is the power of will, right? It's the power of fearlessness. It's his will and his, the kind of person he is what gives him his power. So they've, at least in the comics that I've read and the one stupid movie I've seen, they say like you are your own limitation to that power, right? And the battery, you got to recharge that shit. But like, otherwise you have the power to make anything you can as long as your will, your conscience is strong enough to make those constructs. And I'm like, I don't even have a fucking power ring, but I am pretty confident and willful. I think that if I was fighting Sinestro or whoever, and I had a ring that was literally omnipotent, I could make anything I want because I think I'd be that strong. But then again, I'm like, am I really that strong? Am I really as willful and strong in thought and stuff as I think?
It's a Schrodinger's cat. Because you have the ring, your will be stronger. Like, if I knew I had that power, nothing could stop it.
That's what I'm thinking. But now think for really.
I'm a wizard, motherfucker. Like, I if I had that ring, I'd be coming up with cooler things than frying pans and vacuum cleaners.
Sure, I agree with that.
Yeah, I think I could Green Lantern.
But you don't think that you would also have whatever insecurities and weaknesses you currently have now as a non-superpowered man? You don't think that you'd at least have those, if not an amplified version of those, if you had a power ring? Because in my mind, you're also like fighting fucking supervillains and space entities. You're not
my
just
biggest
fucking
weakness,
doing The Walking
heights
Dead.
and yellow. So as long as I'm not up high, and as
You're
long
like
as
a
I'm
sandy mountain, you're going to be fucked.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But again, if I have a power ring and I'm up high, I can make big green wings and a parachute. And
But wouldn't that still be? Wouldn't you be? Oh, your legs would just be dangling then.
Sure. I mean,
Would you be scared? Or if you were flying high with wings, would you be scared?
if I made a big green helicopter, I'd be fine. I can fly that shit.
But you're still in heights.
Just elevate the ground.
Yeah.
Make a bridge.
Make a bridge. See, it's easy. It's
I
easy.
throw
Although
lemons at you.
I do think
You know, Batman did that once. Batman painted an entire room and himself and Robin yellow in a Frank Miller written story. He painted the whole room yellow, including him and Robin, to have a meeting with Green Lantern for the first time because he knew. And the whole thing. Have you read that book, All-Star Batman and Robin?
Yeah.
Batman is like thinking, and he's like, he says yellow. That's the stupidest weakness I ever heard of.
Yeah.
And he said, if I had that ring, I would be taking down some of these troublesome third world nations that have like, a big armada that the USA
Like,
is
how
not
did
trying
they sell that? Like Superman's
The olden days.
kryptonite, he's got red sun, yellow sun. Right? Batman's human, he can die.
Well, because the color, it's a color
This
based
guy,
thing,
I
right?
understand the whole thing with the alien ring and the community of other Green Lanterns. And it's almost like you have until 12 o'clock tonight to come up with a weakness. And they couldn't think of something. And all of a sudden, time's up. Yellow? Well, why would that sell? You know?
Well, because it's based on like yellow is fear, isn't it?
Yeah,
No,
I guess.
chicken, right?
I don't know if you know, but there's like
Chickens.
in modern Green
Chicken
Lantern
is a better
lore.
weakness because, like, what if they like the bad guy showed up and is like, he's like, I'm Green Lantern. The other guy's like,
Squawk.
"Quack." Yeah, it's like his greatest villain would be Gonzo the Great.
Good one. Good one.
Although the more I think about it, I think I'd be a better DC superhero than any of the. I'd be a better Superman because I'm a wizard, bitch. Like I could handle that shit. In fact, I wouldn't be stopping bank robbers. That's too small. I'd be stopping banks and be like, you guys need some money? You can ask Papa Superman because I'm controlling this shit. You need to beg
So wait,
me.
you would just take over banks because you could?
I would be the omnipotent. You pray to me. I am Superman. You owe me.
That's if you're
Like-
Irredeemable by Mark Wade. That's what
Bingo,
the
that's the
original
best
Squadron
Superman.
Supreme.
That's the best Superman that's ever done. Batman, I would be having fun with that. Batman is so racked with grief. I've met plenty of people who have been through grief and they get over it enough to have fun, be having a good time, and be like, hey, Alfred, spark up the hot tub and invite some friends over. I'll be done around 11. I'm ready to party. Like, at least have a good time doing
You're
it.
saying you'd be a great Bruce Wayne. That's not Batman. You're saying you'd be a great Bruce Wayne.
Batman's the easy part, punching dudes in a mask and making them scared.
You broke my shit. Hit a mark. Take it from where I started laughing.
I said, being Batman's the easy part. Punching guys is easy. I can handle that. Being Bruce Wayne is the hard part because that's the alter ego. You have to like balance your life. And I think just having fun being both is the thing that Batman doesn't seem to have a handle on. If I had a bunch of money and I could beat people up at night wearing a costume, I'd be having a blast. So I think I'd be a better Batman. Just saying.
That's I would love to have an
And you're a
episode-
wizard.
And I'm a
Fucking
wizard.
I would love to have that episode where we debate. Would Batman be better if he was like this self-fulfilled guy who was just like, I'm a happy regular guy, but
Yeah.
also a punching guy? Like,
Yeah. I think the
We'll
only
talk about
DC
that.
superhero that I'd be bad at is the Flash because I hate running.
but what if you were mixing some science chemicals in your police lab and you got blown up by electricity and shit?
I don't
help?
like I don't like running. I just don't like it.
Well, I think we've helped the entertainment industry today by inserting ourselves in a bunch of shit.
Cast us. We're handsome and funny.
Well, you guys
That's
know
right.
Rumi and I, and now you know Papa C a little bit. What would you guys like to see us in? Whether it's a comic or a book or a movie or a TV show, what are some things that you would love to see us in? And I know like a bunch of people have drawn stuff and told us this exact topic before. Tell us some shit that you think we would be in, or tell us what you think about what we just said. Are we full of shit?
Yeah.
Would we not be a good John Wick or Kevin McAllister? Tell us what you think. We want to hear it.
Also, if there is a movie or property that you think you would ace and be way better at, I want to know. You know, tell me why. Tell me why you would be a better Rocky than Sylvester Stallone. Just saying.
We're going to get a bunch of fucking messages from a bunch of motherfucking wizards now.
I know. Yeah. Daniel Radcliffe being like, you think you're a wizard?
Oh my God, that would be so goddamn funny.
I think there's, hit us up, social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at LaunchpadPod, on our website, launchpadpod.com. Check us out on YouTube. Find out what Matt's dad looks like.
I didn't realize it though. He's right under a stupid fucking light, so now he looks like he's an angel.
I don't really want you to know what I look like.
Okay, yeah, then don't check out
blur
the YouTube. If you were watching the YouTube,
And
you'd
I'm
see
not
me
on
wink.
Facebook.
Oh, Matt's dad's on Facebook. And yeah, there's only one more thing to do, Rumi. You guys got to blast this thing off, and I'm going to watch.
Oh yeah, we'll do it in person. So we've never done it like this before, right?
What?
A double in person. We have a secret handshake at the launch pad. I'm going to show you how to do it. You and I will do it in person, and Rumi will join it over on Zoom. We've never done a real in person and Zoom at the same time, right? I don't think we've ever done that.
Super weird, man.
All right,
Let's
ready?
try this.
So turn towards us. The way we do this handshake is you come from the side with your right hand and you make a whoopsh. Then you invert your hand like a rocket ship. And then when the rocket ship blasts off, you make a raspberry noise. Right. And that's so we're going to do it together. You ready,
All right.
Rooms?
Ready? 3, 2, 1. That's it. We're the
It's the first
Rocketeers.
multi-generational Launchpad Podcast
Data the objective. Papa, we the Rocketeers. We are out.
That's all.
All right. We're the Rocketeers, and we're
Hey,
out.
nice to see you again, Aaron.
Good to see you too, man.
4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.